things in life that's certain. Death, taxes, and 85 will always go.
Welcome to New Stripe City, a podcast for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and I hope you guys are having a good morning, man. We decided to go ahead and throw in a bonus episode this week. So today is Monday morning, reporting live. We have a special guest coming through on Wednesday. I'm going to keep that a secret right now, but make sure you guys check out the episode drop on Wednesday where I'll have a special guest on to talk Bengals free agency. With that being said, I hope you guys have been checking out the site, newstripecity.blogspot.com. I've been posting a couple of articles there. We actually had a couple go viral, and that kind of ties into what I'll talk about today. So if you checked out the website, I kind of dropped the article where I talked about the main reason why Kevin Zeitler will not be back with the Bengals. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I'll make sure to put a link in the description for my YouTube page. And if you can't find it there, also remember that we're on Facebook at New Stripe City. So I also post articles there as well. So yeah, be sure to definitely check that article out. But on today's episode, I'll go into the Kevin Zeitler thing. I'll also talk about this Chance Warmack. It's a lot of Chance Warmack stuff going on out there. So it's time to put that to an end. So I'll touch on that as well. And we'll just talk about what other random Bengals news is out there. So first, Kevin Zeitler. So obviously, Kevin Zeitler has been the topic amongst a lot of Jungle fans. There have been reports lately. Paul Dehner has been saying that it's looking likely that the Bengals will move on from him. Jeff Hobson has kind of echoed the same sentiments as well. But one thing that I really found interesting that everyone kind of overlooked in this situation was looking at Zeitler's agent representation. And I just looked at this literally, I want to say 3 or 4 days ago. I was just, looking into the whole agent situation with him. And it kind of really made things crystal clear for me. So I came across the fact that Zeitler has an agent. I can't recall the guy's name exactly, but his agent basically works for Athletes First, right? And so I go onto the Athletes First website, and if you look at this article, it will say the agent's name as well as the website. There's a link to the website, and the agency is Athletes First, right? And so I'm like, okay, it's still not bad. But then I see the slideshow go through on their website, and I see guys like Kalichi Osemele, Josh Norman, Von Miller, and immediately I'm like, right, it was like Kalichi Osemele was like the cherry on top because it was just like, this is the guy that just signed the crazy deal for guards last year. So this was a huge eye-opener for me because this guy is represented by an agency that in the last couple of years, last 2 or 3 years, they've put together historic deals at every one of those positions. You look at the Josh Norman contract. You look at the Kalichi Osemele contract for guards. You look at Von Miller. I believe he was the highest defensive player ever played in NFL history. That does not bode well for us, okay? So now it kind of makes sense why the Bengals have prioritized certain players for free agency. And you almost get the sense that the writing is kind of on the wall. There is, to me, when you're represented by an agency like that, it kind of means that they're going to go out and get Zeitler the same amount or similar to that amount that Osemele was able to get leaving from Baltimore going to Oakland. And you're talking about a guy in Zeitler that's the number one guard in the market. I have to take another look at the 2016 free agency, but I feel like Osemele may not have been the number one guy on the market, but hey, who knows? It doesn't even matter at this point. But the point is, his agent is about to be out there for money, bro. Let's just be real. And I hope my mic is sounding better. I know I had a couple of comments on my YouTube page that the mic was too low, so hopefully it's at the right level this time. But if not, you guys let me know. But anyways, yeah, it's not looking good for Kevin Zeitler, bro. Definitely not looking good at all. So I've kind of, in a sense, kind of just prepared myself mentally to move on from him. Like I told you guys before, I think that he is the best prospect on the offensive line in terms of long-term security. I think that he's arguably one of, I mean, if not the best, he's the next best lineman that we have on this team. Obviously, number one is considered by some to be Andrew Whitworth. I can see that as well. But it's kind of like a 1A, 1B thing. And to me, it's just like I love Zeitler. I mean, not I love Zeitler. I love both of them, but I love Witt. But at the end of the day, bro, you just got to be real. He's 35 years old. Okay, he's probably gonna play 2 more years, and after that, bro, he's leaving us. So, I mean, I understand that you want to bring back your tackle. I think that you really should bring back both, but it looks like there's only room for one, and that just really leaves the Bengals' offensive line in a weird state because if you take Kevin Zeitler off this team and Witt retires, can you really name who the best lineman is? Is it really Clint Bowling? That's really your best lineman? I don't know, man. But Jeff Hobson appears to think that the Bengals could be using either Christian Westerman or a couple of other guys like T.J. Johnson and other guys that they could use at their disposal instead of in replacement of Kevin Zeitler. So that's interesting to see. One thing that I did like was that they took Christian Westerman last year in the draft. And if you kind of notice with the Bengals, they have a tendency to sometimes draft a replacement a year in advance. I didn't think that it was for Zeitler, though. I honestly thought that the guy was going to be for Bodine, but he never actually took snaps in practice at center. And I believe he only worked at guard, but he didn't play it down last year during the season. So it seems like they could be prepping him in, I guess, that said a way he roll or whatever, where he didn't really play much, but said still played, so that's kind of weird. But maybe they're prepping him. If you guys are also looking at the article that I wrote, there's a link that goes to Westerman's draft profile, which actually compared him to Alex Mack. So I thought that was interesting because Alex Mack is a center, but he's playing guard. So I mean, I don't know how that bodes, but it seems like he's rated by draft experts as pretty good. We basically drafted this guy in the 5th round. He was projected to go as early as the 2nd round, so he could be the answer. I'm not here to say that he's not, but I don't know, bro. It's kind of a stretch to try to duplicate Kevin Zeitler since he's basically an All-Pro, but we'll see how that goes. But that brings me into my next topic. There's been a lot of talk of people saying that the Bengals should just replace Kevin Zeitler with Chance Warmack. And this is why I'm against that. When did you guys find out that Chance Warmack was good? Did you guys do your research on that? Because I did. And Chance Warmack is not good, bruh. He's really not good. First of all, there's a lot of people saying he was a top 10 draft pick, blah, blah, blah. He's not good, bro. And all it takes is about 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, man, 2 seconds of internet search to determine this. Okay? So I'm gonna go on a website right now and read you what they have to say about Chance Warmack. And we're gonna pull up one of my nice sites here that I like to go to, WalterFootball.com, and we're going to check out their free agent section, right? And I'm just going to let y'all know what they say about Chance Warmack. Now, this wasn't the first place I went. I actually just looked around on Google on some of the Tennessee Titan news places to determine their opinion of him, and you will see shortly that it is not a good one. So let me get down here. Okay, I'm on the free agents page, and let's go over to the guards. And it says if you guard, they have a little note down here saying if your team needs guards, and I mean this year, that you're actually in luck because there are um, there is a free agency class that's absolutely loaded. Okay, so I click on here, I'm going in here, and number one is Kevin Zeitler. Okay, let's just go through and say what they have here. So they say that Kevin Zeitler is one of the jewels of the 2017 free agency class. He's been one of the top guards in the league over the past several seasons, possessing no weaknesses in his game. There's no reason for Zeitler to decline either. He turns 27 in March. So they give him 5 stars, right? Let me tell y'all where Chance Warmack comes in at this list. So there's 5 stars, right? 2 stars, 13th. 13th now, after Luke Jokel. Luke Jokel is garbage. I live down here in Florida, and Jags fans will tell you Luke Jokel is garbage, and he's ranked behind him. Okay, here's what the synopsis says on him. Chance Warmack hasn't played like a 2-star player. He's been awful. So he's not even playing at the 2 stars that he's been given. However, he was a number 10 overall pick in the 2013 draft, so he has some potential. Okay, that's a caution flag right there, right? But then I went around to some Titans websites and checked them out, and basically, I don't know if people realized, Chance Warmack didn't play that much this year, bro. So I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, he was a part of the Tennessee Titans offensive line this year. No, Chance Warmack went out this year with like a broken finger. And it was earlier in the year. And basically they're saying that this guy struggled. He was a weak link on the line. He went to IR off of hand surgery. And they basically decided to move on from him. Even before the season even started, they made the decision to not pick up his 5th-year option. That is a red flag too. If a team actually thinks that a guy is good, they're not going to decline a 5th-year option on the guy. Okay, so please stop with the Chance Warmack is good, let's bring him in, because when you just do your minimal research on this guy, you'll see that the Titans are ready to dump this guy off. They're ready to get rid of him. Okay, he's not good. Yes, he will be significantly cheaper than Kevin Zeitler, but you get what you pay for, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather go with Christian Westerman and see what he's got, or TJ Johnson, than to give this guy some money and then he ends up being a bum. That's not what you want to do. So I'll just go through, going back to Walter Football, I'll just name some of the other names on this list that could be guys that we could look at. Here's a guy in Andrew Norwell. I mean, he is a restricted free agent, but he's only 25 years old, and he's 4.5 stars. So that's not really too much of a fall off from Kevin Zeitler. I mean, he is a restricted free agent, so that means that the Panthers could match any deal that he gets, but he seems like a pretty good guy. Now, this is funny because it says that Carolina's offensive line was a mess this past season, but one lone bright spot throughout the entire year was Andrew Norwell. The 25-year-old was outstanding in pass protection and run blocking, and given that he's so young, he could even become better in 2017 and 2018. Bro, if you gave me a choice between Andrew Norwell and Chance Warmack, I'm taking Andrew Norwell, bro. I'm just being real. You get a guy that's near Zeitler status, and he's 2 years younger than him. Okay? Then you have TJ Lang, a guy out there for the Packers. He's at 29. He's 4.5 stars. Larry Warford. Even Larry Warford is actually better. And it's funny because when I was looking into the Titans thing, they actually said that they were going to move on from Chance Warmack and look into guys like Larry Warford and Kevin Zeitler, of all people. So that just puts another thing in perspective. Now, it says that Warford had an injury-prone 2015 campaign, but he rebounded last season, and he provided Matt Stafford with some excellent blocking. And he turns 26 in June, so the sky's the limit. So this is another guy who's better than Chance Warmack. Okay, Evan Mathis, we all know him. No need to really go into him. He's 35. He's rated at 3.5 stars. Brian Winters. I mean, the list goes on. But the key point is that Chance Warmack isn't good. Hashtag Chance Warmack is not good. Is definitely about to go viral on my feed. But anyways, yeah, basically Chance Warmack is not good. So stop saying that the Bengals should sign Chance Warmack. If they do sign him, I hope it's for dollars or pennies on the dollar because that sounds like a headache from what I've read. And this is a guy that actually also went off on his offensive line coach as well. Now, granted, I think that he kind of had a point. Now, this, I believe, was a guy that was hired by Ken Wisenhunt. And the guy was like a D3 defensive coach, some kind of, I don't know what he was doing coaching the Titans, but I mean, it was Ken Wisenhunt as the head coach, so that was kind of skip. But anyway, I also, going back, not to go back too far, but and looking at the Kevin Zeitler situation, there were a couple of people that I think could actually go and take Kevin Zeitler from us. So I'm going to say it could be Green Bay for a couple of reasons. Athletes First is actually based out of Wisconsin. Kevin Zeitler is from Wisconsin, and they represent two guys for Green Bay, Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers. So that would make somewhat of sense there because he gets the opportunity to get some of his money. I believe Green Bay has about $43 million in cap space according to Spotrac, and he gets to go home. So it seems like that could definitely be an option. You have the Indianapolis Colts. If he doesn't want to move too far and he still wants to win plus get paid, he could go to the Indianapolis Colts. Seattle Seahawks are an option. They're really struggling on the offensive line. Zeitler's more of a run-blocking guard. They kind of have that run-blocking offense there. That would be another option for him. You look at the Washington Redskins with Jay Gruden, who's coached them before. They have the cap space. Obviously, they have a relationship with Athletes First because they do have Josh Norman on their team. So that could also be an option. You look at the Cleveland Browns, it could be a repeat of the Steinbach thing. But in my opinion, I think that Zeitler kind of wants to win more than he would like to have money and to be paid to live in Cleveland. So I don't think that should be a spot for him, but I do think that they will make a call. I also believe that the Vikings could be an option as well. Mike Zimmer also is familiar with Kevin Zeitler, but they don't have as much cap space as everyone else, so it's not really a slam dunk. But obviously, with so many injuries on the offensive line, that could also be an option as well. And then you have other places like the San Francisco 49ers where Athletes First actually represents John Lynch, the man who was just hired as the GM for the 49ers. So that could be another situation where the 49ers throw him a lot of cash and try to bring him in, but can they get him to buy into the future there? It's hard to say. And then you have, I'm pretty sure there's some other teams, but I named some other teams on the website. An interesting thing is that before the draft, he was actually worked out by the Carolina Panthers, so they also could be in play if they don't re-sign the guard that I spoke about earlier, which that would be interesting because if they don't re-sign Andrew Norwell, that would make him basically a free agent. But I would assume that they would try to retain this guy, apparently, since he was the lone bright spot. So Carolina is also an option. And other than that, the other one should be listed on the article, like I said. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Like I said, I think, unfortunately, he has kind of moved on and priced himself out of Cincinnati. When you look around the league, you're talking about a position where his agent was able to land $11 million per year from somebody else. I mean, there has been reports from Dave Lapham that the Bengals offered him $5 million a year. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I mean, I trust Lap. He's pretty key on and spot on when it comes to Bengals knowledge. I know I don't have any knowledge of what goes on in the front office. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit of that on my upcoming interview on Wednesday. Just a little bit. We won't probably dig in too much, but we'll at least learn how the process works. And yeah, man, I really just wanted to touch on that issue. I also have a article, if you haven't checked it out, about Andy Dalton and the numbers that show that he is a Super Bowl quarterback. So very interesting stuff there. Like I told you on my last episode, I decided to do a comparison of Andy Dalton, Russell Wilson, and Matt Ryan through their first 6 years. Obviously, Russell Wilson's only been in the league for 5, so for Russell, only 5. But it's very funny how similar the numbers are because you hear so many people saying that the Bengals should just get rid of Andy Dalton. They'll never win a Super Bowl with him. It's more than just that, man. It's more than just the actual quarterback play. To me, it's a team thing. And, I mean, I can sit here all day, and we can sit here all day and talk about his playoff record. But at the end of the day, bruh, to me, he kind of gets a pass just because his best statistical season, which was 2015, he didn't play in the playoffs. So we can talk about that, too. I feel like it would have gone differently had he played in the playoffs that year because he was a different quarterback. So we'll see how those things work out. But with that being said, I'm going to leave y'all with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday. Make sure you guys check out the interview coming up Wednesday. Make sure that you comment, subscribe. We're in the iTunes store. We're on podcastgarden.com, so make sure you check us out. And then also make sure you check out our blog on newstripecity.blogspot.com.
Always business, never personal.
Here's the 3rd and 7, and McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught and breathes in for the touchdown.
Two things in life that suck: death, taxes, and 85 will always